Genius trick with pumpkin that everyone should know. Here I start by cutting off the top of the pumpkin and carefully removing it. Then I remove all the inner parts, making sure to scoop out the seeds. This recipe with pumpkin turns out very flavorful and is worth trying. First, it's important to completely remove all the seeds from inside. I've already taken out all the seeds, leaving the inside nice and clean. Now, using a knife, I make a few cuts into the pumpkin flesh. Slide the knife along the sides, making cuts to help loosen the flesh. This really helps when it's time to scoop the flesh after baking. The cuts also make the stuffing process much easier. Plus, they allow the seasoning to better penetrate the flesh. Done! I've made all the necessary cuts inside. Now, I season with salt and a little ground black pepper. I also add paprika and turmeric to give more flavor and color. And to finish off the seasoning, I pour in a good amount of olive oil. About 2 tablespoons of olive oil will be enough. I mix all these seasonings well inside the pumpkin, spreading evenly. I use a spoon to spread the seasoning all around the inner part. Everything is well seasoned. Now I add 12 onions cut into large chunks. I also place 2 tomatoes cut into pieces, with skin and all. They don't need to be too small. Large chunks are just fine. I add 1 more pinch of salt on top to enhance the flavor. And right after that, we wrap everything in aluminum foil. I cover the pumpkin completely with the foil, sealing the edges well. I make sure it's tightly sealed so no steam escapes. I place it in a preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 minutes. After the indicated time, I carefully take the pumpkin out of the oven. I gently open the aluminum foil. I remove the cooked tomatoes from inside. I place them directly into the blender jar. I also remove the onions and the seasonings along with the juices. Everything goes into the blender to make use of all the ingredients. I scoop out all the inner contents, leaving just the skin. Now I begin removing the pumpkin flesh, which is very soft. I place this flesh into the blender along with everything else. Then I add a bit of water to help it blend more smoothly, about 1 1/4 cups of water. I close the blender and blend everything until smooth and creamy. Now it's all well blended, with a uniform texture. I transfer this mixture into a skillet to finish the dish. I add a bit of oil and turn on the heat. I add 3 chopped garlic cloves and let them saute. I let them cook until lightly golden, without burning. Then I pour in all the pumpkin cream we prepared. I stir well to combine the garlic with the cream and to heat it through. I add some chopped parsley or cilantro on top. This gives a fresh touch at the end of the preparation. I let it boil for 2 to 3 minutes so it thickens slightly. Now it's